I think it's a bit kind of presumptuous. I've only been here for about 4 days to start kind of making judgments about Japan because you know, I'd like to find out more about it. I mean, my immediate impression is one of you know, wandering around the streets. Even though it's a very densely populated city, there is a real sort of harmony amongst people, which that you don't find in, say, a lot of Western cities. In London and in a lot of British cities and in American cities, if you get a lot of people close together, then there's aggravation and there's an aggressiveness. I found here there's a much more peaceful attitude. The people seem more sort of peaceful, more considerate, more polite. Obviously, from being in Britain, the Europeans and the rest of the world look upon Japan for the strength of their economy, and it frightens certain countries, I guess, like America, for instance, because Japan is buying up large parts of America and Australia and stuff. So there is a kind of resentment, I guess, from people. People look a bit frightened. But my attitude is basically, it doesn't seem to matter. I think the Japanese seem to run their companies and their industries far more honourably in a way. When they take over companies, there's a lot of takeovers in the West, companies getting taken over, and a thing called asset stripping, where these big corporations buy other companies and they just sell them off. It seems to me, from what I've read about the way that the Japanese companies tend to do, they tend to buy companies because the companies are worth having, and they let the companies carry on as they were going. They seem to be a bit more honourable about things. I'm curious about, I mean, for instance, how much, because of the lyric and the language problem, how much they get of the lyrics. I know they may read interviews and translations of interviews, but I just wonder, through listening to the records, how much they get, because obviously things like irony don't translate, which is, in fact, it often don't even translate, it doesn't translate to other English-speaking countries. There's a particular British viewpoint, for instance, or things that I would write from a British point of view that Americans wouldn't get, or Australians. So it's even harder for, say, Japanese. But I'm curious as to what they get out of if they're aware of the kind of philosophies that I'm talking about, the belief in God, but the disbelief in institutionalised religion. I've always seen that there is a very multimedia project. The music side, the film side. I did the long-form videos for Infected, and also the book side. I want to actually sort of publish some sort of books. I mean, I've got tons and tons of ideas. It's a question of getting the backing together. I want to tour, make this film, which would be more like a visual poetry. It wouldn't necessarily be a film with dialogue, but it would be combining music, film, and lyrics. Be kind of semi-documentary, philosophical work, which, as I said, wouldn't be like a film. It'd be more like kind of a multimedia poetry in a way. That's an idea that I'm working on. That probably wouldn't be for about 3 or 4 years' time, and it'd take that length of time to get all the money together. But if there's any rich Japanese companies with loads of money, then they can invest in the software. We could do a joint venture. They're in a big Japanese company.